This is Zion, but not the Zion of ancient Jerusalem. This is a canyon in Utah, once home to the southern Paiute, later claimed by Mormon settlers as part of their New Jerusalem, their promised land. Its story is one of faith, flight, and the reshaping of a sacred landscape. For Mormons, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints, Zion is not just a place, it's a vision, a perfect, godly society, a gathering place for the faithful in preparation for the second coming of Christ. To them, southern Utah's sandstone cliffs became a living cathedral, a sanctuary in the wilderness. The Mormon faith began in the 1820s in upstate New York. Mormons are not the same as Jews, though both revere the Old Testament. Their faith blends biblical teachings with new scripture and the belief that America itself is part of God's covenant land. Early Mormon teachings included practices that were controversial in the 1800s, such as polygamy, and the belief that theirs was the restored true church with authority that superseded all others. Mormon communities faced hostility wherever they settled. Their rapid growth, political unity, and distinct beliefs led to tensions with neighbors. The public practice of plural marriage, that is, polygamy. Mormon church founder Joseph Smith himself had up to 40 wives. Their living style of close knit communities, consolidation of economic and social activities, and their clannish behavior were viewed as a secretive and untrustworthy. In 1847, tens of thousands of Mormon pioneers, mostly from the eastern United States and newly converted immigrants from Britain and Scandinavia, trekked westward to the remote Salt Lake Valley, then part of Mexico. From here, they spread into present-day Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and California. By the 1850s to 1860s, Mormon settlers pushed into southern Utah, drawn by fertile river valleys, including the canyon that would become Zion National Park. Long before the first wagons rolled in, the southern Paiute people lived here, tending gardens along the Virgin River, hunting and gathering wild plants. Mormon settlement meant more than new neighbors. It meant the loss of farmland, the diversion of water for irrigation, and the introduction of livestock that trampled native food sources. The Paiute Native American faced immense hardship due to Mormon settlement in Zion Canyon area, which led to loss of their land, food sources, and population through diseases and massacres. The Circleville Massacre in 1866 is one of the most brutal acts of violence. Mormon settlers massacred an entire Paiute village, burying them in a mass grave. It is estimated that their population was reduced by 90% within 25 years of interaction. The Paiutes were left with little choice but to beg or starve, forcing them into a state of destitution. Most staggering was 1954 termination law, which no longer recognized Paiute as a tribe federally. After fighting to restore their federal status for nearly 10 years, legislation was finally signed by President Carter, restoring federal recognition of the Paiute bands of southern Utah on April 3, 1980. In 1863, a Mormon farmer named Isaac Bohannon built a small cabin in the canyon. Surrounded by soaring cliffs, he declared, "A man can worship God here as well as in the best church." He called the place Zion, and the name stayed. In 1909, President Taft proclaimed it Mukuntuweap National Monument using a Paiute name meaning straight canyon, but in 1919, seeking a name that would draw more tourists and reflecting a local Mormon heritage, Congress renamed it Zion National Park. Ironically, the biblical name that once symbolized a spiritual refuge now lured travelers from across the nation. Here, 150 million year old Navajo Sandstone, once a vast desert of shifting dunes, towers over the Virgin River. The water cuts deep slot canyons like the Narrows, while seeps create hanging gardens clinging the rock. Cottonwoods shade the banks, bighorn sheep climb the cliffs, and over 200 bird species soar through the canyon. Today, over 5 million visitors a year hike trails like Angel's Landing or wade through Virgin River in the Narrows, or most of the year you will ride a free shuttle through the main canyon since private cars aren't allowed on the scenic drive. No one lives permanently inside the park except park staff in limited housing. Just outside the town of Springdale thrives on tourism, a new economy of Zion. Zion National Park is a national park of the United States located in southwestern Utah near the town of Springdale. Located at the junction of the Colorado Plateau, Great Basin, and Mojave Desert regions, the park has a unique geography and a variety of life zones that allow for unusual plant and animal diversity. Numerous plant species, as well as 289 species of birds, 75 mammals, and 32 reptiles inhabit the park's 4 life zones, that is, desert, riparian, woodland, and coniferous forest. Zion National Park includes mountains, canyons, buttes, mesas, monoliths, rivers, slot canyon, and natural arches. The lowest point in the park is 3,666 feet at Coal Pits Wash, and the highest peak is 8,726 feet at Horse Ranch Mountain. A prominent feature of the 229 square mile park is Zion Canyon, which is 15 miles long and up to 2,640 feet deep. The canyon walls are reddish and tan-colored Navajo sandstone eroded by North Fork of the Virgin River. The park attracted 5 million visitors in 2023. For Mormons, Zion was the New Jerusalem, a sanctuary for the faithful. For the southern Paiute, it was a homeland. Today, it's a national treasure visited by millions. But beneath the beauty, the canyon still holds the echoes of displacement, devotion, and the dreams of those who called it holy.